Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Homeschool Help Desk Dad Edition. It's been a while since I've made one of these videos, and I'm sorry to you guys because I haven't put anything out that we did, learning wise, but I got some stuff that I got coming up in the works. I wanted to continue our series on homeschooling laws, rules in different states, and today I wanted to cover New York, state of New York. So, the New York, I got my notes here just so you guys know, reading over some things. State Education Department says parents may educate their children. This is part of the NYSED Part 100.10. It's a homeschool instruction by parents. You're required to do 900 hours in 180 days. So a little bit different than like Pennsylvania and some of the other states where you have to do 180 days, anything like that. This is one thing that I saw that was really interesting about New York. New York has it where you have to track hours in some areas. So you must attend the school just like anywhere else, 6 to 16, 17 in New York City though. That's a rule that's a little bit different. You must have a written instruction plan to show what you teach, and you have to file it within 4 weeks of starting. So with that being said, it's similar to what you have to do with Pennsylvania and some of the other states. Pennsylvania, you put that in there with your affidavit and saying you're homeschooling, saying this is what we're going over. Pennsylvania is more relaxed on this, where you just have to put the subjects on what you're doing. This one, I didn't really get any more information if it has to be subjects or if you need to go into more detail. Your letter of intent must be sent within 14 days of starting. You have to do this every year. So just like Pennsylvania does the affidavit, which is due in the beginning around July, you need to do the letter of intent within 14 days of starting school. 14 days within starting school is the letter of intent. Quarterly progress reports are needed. They have to include the hours for secondary, hours spent on each subject. So this is one of the big, tightest, strenuous things that you see with New York State that you don't see. And I keep referencing Pennsylvania. As you guys know, I'm in Pennsylvania. So this is crazy. Quarterly reports to send in. I don't like that, but hey, this is more of an informational video, so I'm not going to go and dive into any of that kind of stuff. It's very interesting though. So you have to do testing grades 1 through 3 every year, or a progress report. When you get up to 4 through 8 every other year, and then when you get to high school age 9 through 12, you have to test yearly. With that being said, our curriculum grades 1 through 6, math, reading, spelling, writing, English, language arts, U.S. history, science, health, phys ed, geography. Every year, citizenship. Every year you have to do something to relate to citizenship, patriotism, health. I put in here DARE in my notes. If you're older enough, you know about DARE. Just about, drugs and things like that, and kind of teach that they're not good for you. You have to have a highway safety and a fire safety. Grades 7 through 8, they start going into a unit base. So it's almost like a college type credit system here, and you have to do every year. They do it by semester. Every year you have to do English, history, geography, science. You have to do a half a credit of art, half a credit of music. That's hits that. And then when you go into 9 through 12, you need to take U.S. history, New York history, and Constitution through those high school years. English you're taking every year, social studies, including civics. So you can break this up, and that's how you do your history. You have to take the 4 units of history, but it can be broken up into. It has to be broken up into New York history, U.S. history, etc. So that's the different part there. You have electives that you need to take. You need to take at least 3 years of electives. Math, science, phys ed, art are all 2 years throughout your 9 through 12. And then health is half a year. So you only have to take a semester of health through your 9 through 12. And then one of the other big things noticed is, like any other state out there, with the exception of Pennsylvania, I think Pennsylvania is one of the most lenient on that, and they're still strict, is no high school sports for homeschool kids. They're working to try to get this fixed. There's a big thing out there they're calling the Tim Tebow rule, but I think it was 1993 that rule was put in there. It was in the 90s that you couldn't do it, and they're still working on trying to get that removed. So that could be done in a year, few years. Who knows how long it's going to take to do that. Check back on that. But this is information. I pulled this up from, there was a homeschool site. I'll put the link. I'll find it and I'll put the link in the description on where I got my information from. But again, this is all based on the New York State Education Department Part 100.10 and teaching school. Big differences with a lot of the other states. They're tracking hours. You have to do a quarterly report. And when you start getting up into the higher grades, you're having to track how many hours you spent per subject. That is something big to notice if you're in New York State and you want to teach your kid. So keep those in mind. It can be done. Each of us have our own challenges when it comes to it, but I hope you guys will take that action and do it, or speak to your legislator if you want something changed. Get together with a group of families, parents, and say, hey, this doesn't feel right. We have all these other states that can do this. Why can't we? So anyway, I thank you guys for watching this video. I'm going to try and do a couple more states here. And then I do have a video that I want to show. We did a homeschool field trip a few weeks ago to put out there. But, our homeschooling has been going well. And I'll give a separate progress video update on what we've been doing. So anyway, hope you guys have a great one. And it is around the new year. I know this video will be up for a while, but hope you guys have a happy new year. And we'll see you guys in 26.